In this video, I will show you how my brother and I put all the original pieces into the cooling system of the new engine. One of the most typical modifications people do is remove the thermostat, claiming they don't need it due to the high temperature where they live. But in reality, all it does is help the engine warm up faster. And getting to operating temperature fast is a good thing. Our engine had this modification done to it when we bought the bus, so I had to get a new thermostat, a stock fan shroud with flaps, and all the proper tints. Until this point, almost every part we used on the engine build was brand new, so the long block looked amazing. But for the external parts that don't get damaged from overheating, I did reuse a lot of my old parts. Later on I realized that all the tints that came with the bus and I reused were incorrect. So I will be buying the stock ones and replacing them the next time the engine is out. The oil cooler I used is also brand new. I could only find cheap Chinese ones online, which is not ideal. Hopefully it's better than whatever came out of the old engine. The thermostat I bought is brand new from a place called Awesome Powder Coat. Its bracket and hardware are all used original. The manifold and end pieces are also used original. I reused my distributor and carburetor, and I bought a refurbished fuel pump to replace the old unbranded one. I also got a new welded fan from CB Performance, which is a few millimeters wider, but we were unable to remove the old fan, so this will be an upgrade for another time. The main reason I wanted this fan shroud was because of the air duct holes, and I will be making a video in full detail on how to restore the stock heating system. Being unable to remove the old fan was not the only issue we had. We quickly found out that the new tins had a gap that was too small for the stock flap mechanism, so we had to do some butchering. Okay, I'm working on the thermostat rod and flaps. This is what got us stuck last time before Christmas when my brother was helping me with it, and he helped me a lot. I fully did not understand how this works, and now I do. And one of the reasons we didn't know how this goes was there's 3 spaces between the cylinder heads where this rod goes, and none of all 3 worked for us, which was very strange. Now I know which hole it is, and I know the rod is going through the correct hole, but it still won't go up and down like this once it's in. So I thought maybe this rod was the wrong one, and I bought a new one. Luckily you can still buy these new, because if this one is bent or damaged or whatever, I don't know what type of bend it should have. You can see the new one, it's bent from every angle you look at it, it's bent. So I don't know how I could possibly reproduce this without having one to copy. So I bought this new one, and I'm comparing them, and you can see that's where it would go, and look how different they are. The bottom part, if I make the bottom parts match, it's hard to hold the camera and do this at the same time, but somewhere around there, you can see that this part is probably wrong. And before taking the old one out and simply replacing it for the new one, I think I will try to bend this one back, because look at how it's held in with a little, I don't know how to call that, but I assume this would need to have some kind of groove for that pointy washer to hold on to. So if I take this thing out, this weird attachment out, and this one has nothing to hold on to, I don't know how that would work. So I will first try to bend this out and copy the shape of the new one, and if that works, I won't have to use the new one. And let me know in the comments if you need it. I'll send it to you for free. Otherwise, I'll need to use the new one. So let's find out. All right, here we go. That's the bottom part. I make them match closely, following it all the way up. And the new one is a tiny bit longer, but now the shape at least is a lot more similar. So I will drop this in and try again with the thermostat and see if I can make it reach. I think this difference in overall length will be fine, because that's the adjustment you can do by bringing the thermostat bracket up and down. So I'm not worried about the length. I'm just worried about this being able to slide through the cylinder heads. Another thing I learned while doing this, and the bracket's on the way, but you can see the 3 holes there. One of them is where the rod goes through that I'm talking about. I'm missing a little tiny deflector plate similar to this one that people forget. There's another smaller one that goes here, and I didn't know. I saw it in the book reading about the linkage for the thermostat. So I will go in my old cylinder heads that I didn't throw out yet and check if I have that tiny piece for both sides. I saved my old cylinder heads even though they're cracked, and I'm glad I did because I went back to them and harvested these tiny pieces that I'm sure you can buy them new, but having them saves me at least 3 or 4 days of shipping wait time. I can just slap these in and continue working instead of having to order them and then wait, blah blah blah. So I'll clean them up and put these in. Now I finally have the thermostat where it goes. I left all its space for it to go up. So I left the bracket where the thermostat is fully open and then adjusted this nut. I had to move the washer that was between the nut and the bracket into between the bracket and the case. I don't know if you can see that, but otherwise the bottom part of the thermostat wouldn't sit in the bracket. I needed that extra millimeter or two because of how my rod is bent. And now I don't know how to test this. I can't push it up and down anymore, obviously, because I tightened the nut. But I want to heat this up and just double check from the back if the flaps open all the way, because I think it's more important to cool than it is to warm up. This is our camping heater. I put it directly under the thermostat and I'll sit here and watch it. All the heat's coming directly out. Maybe I can set it like this. Yep. Ooh, okay. I'll watch how this expands, or otherwise maybe I'll get a blow dryer. Now it's almost touching the top. Now the thermostat cooled off again. You can't really tell how long this is, but it's less than a finger. I'm not sure what the travel is and what it's supposed to be, but the flaps go up and down properly, so I'm not worried. And the thermostat seems to work even though it's super slow. So now I'm doing final assembly. I'm presenting these, leaving them a little loose on this side and this side. I have the one that goes here, and I'm trying to figure out how this one goes, the stovepipe. I didn't used to have this, but I want to have everything working the way it should. And I'm working with this one that I bought used because I wanted to have all 3 holes on it, but it's pretty crunchy I'm not going to bother repainting anything right now. I just want to make sure everything fits, because I have a strange combination of used parts with Chinese parts that are used. These are new from CB Performance. So I just want to make sure everything works and fits properly. I don't need the engine to look like a piece of jewelry right now. I just want to make sure everything fits, and also make sure everything runs. And then I'll spend time taking apart just the TIMs and painting them or whatever. You know, stuff like this, taking care of that. Some rusty bolts. I don't know, this is also used. I'm not terribly worried about it.